verse of Good Time, slow. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Let's break this down. Here is the left hand part. So first you're starting with an F chord, the 1 on the 1st fret of the E string, the 2 on the 2nd fret of the G string, the 3 on the 3rd fret of the A, and the 4 on the 3rd fret of the D. So, and then you're moving to a C chord, which you only need the 3rd fret on the, the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the A, and the 2 finger on the 2nd fret of the D. Then you move into a G chord. Actually, it's still sort of a C chord, so you're just moving over here to get more of the C chord. Anyway, you're taking your ring finger and you're putting it on the 3rd fret of the E string and pinky on the 3rd fret of the A. So this is. And then you put that second finger down and you lift up the pinky and you have. Put the pinky back down on the A. And then take it back off of the A. Then we're moving on to an F chord. Back to the C. Moving the C over, but having the open D string. And then you're moving your 2nd finger back and forth from the 2nd fret to the 5th fret for the slide while you're playing an open A string. Then we're moving to the 1st fret back to an F chord. And then a C chord again. And then that half a C, where your 2 little fingers are over here. And then you're taking everything away except for the 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the D, and you're plugging the A and D together. First finger comes down to the 2nd fret of the A string. And then you're moving the 2 little fingers back to those big strings. And then you're plugging some more of that. And then you're gonna move your pinky over to the B string while leaving your ring finger on the low E, and you're gonna play 3 of those. Move your 1st finger to the 1st fret of the B string while leaving your ring finger on that low E for 1 of those. Then you're moving to an A minor, and you're strumming 5 strings, the A, D, G, B, E, and then you're plucking the 1st finger on the 2nd fret, 1st fret of the 2nd string, and then your ring finger of the 2nd fret of the G string. So. those last three notes of the verse are. So let's take a look at the right hand. So for that F chord, you have the thumb on the E string, and then your one finger on the D, and then your two finger on the G. So you've got thumb, 1, 2, 1. Then you've got, for that next chord, the C chord, you've got thumb and middle finger together, and then thumb, and then index, and then thumb. And then the next measure, moving on to this pseudo C chord thing, and you have your thumb and index together, and then thumb, and then index hits the D string, and then your thumb hits the A, and then you have thumb and index hitting the A and D together, and then you hit the A string and an open A string. Next measure, you're back to an F chord, and you have thumb, 1, 2, 1, and then your thumb and index together on the A and G strings, and then you have your thumb again, and then your index hits the D, and then your thumb comes back to the A, and then you're moving on to the next measure where your thumb and index hit the E and D strings together, and then E, D, A, the thumb, and then thumb and index on A and D, back to an F chord where you're on the next measure where you're playing thumb, index, middle, index, thumb and middle, thumb, index, thumb, thumb and index, thumb. I'm on to the next measure. Index, thumb, thumb and index, thumb, thumb and index. And when I'm playing those bunch of things in a row, I land there, and then I say and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we're on to the next measure where you have your thumb on E, index on D, middle on G, ring on B. So you have those four all together. Even while you're switching that chord, and then you're going to strum an A minor, and then middle hits the B string, and index hits the G string.